Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Back Nine Report. My name is Carlos Torres, along with Fred Alvader. Every week, we pick a topic and we start bringing some of the latest news. So, Fred, I see some familiar colors there in your shirt. What is this all about?
Go Bucks, buddy. A friend gave me this shirt, and I saw it in the closet, and I'm going to put that on because it's only been a little over a month that the Buckeyes won the expanded CFP playoffs. The Buckeyes won the very first four-team national championship, CFP, way back when they did that, and now they won the first expanded 12 team. So when they go to 20 teams, hopefully they'll win again. But no, I just saw this in the closet. Friend gave it to me. I thought I'd wear it to just make your day, Carlos. Go Bucks.
But they lost some key staff,
Coaches.
so we'll see
Yeah.
if it happens again. I don't know about that, but we'll see
Yeah.
what happens. But
Yeah.
anyway, Fred, we had some great action this weekend. We had the Cognizant Classic, and it was played at the renowned um, PGA National Resorts Champion Course there in Palm Beach Gardens, Florida. And this year's tournament was nothing short of spectacular. I mean, we can say it was filled with historic performances, dramatic shifts, and emerging talents. It started with a historic opening by Jake Knapp. I mean, he delivered an extraordinary 12 under par 59 in the first round, making only the 15th sub 60 round in PGA Tour history. So his flawless performance included 12 birdies. He set a new course record at PGA National, which is known for being hard. So this was very surprising. And we're going to talk about the low scores as well. But he established a four-stroke lead early on. But meanwhile, we had some other player. His name is Joe Highsmith. He faced challenges early in the tournament, narrowly make the cut after Friday's round. And who knew? However, showcased some resilience really because he had some skill over the weekend. He fired consecutive rounds of 7 under 64. This stellar play propelled him from the brink of elimination to the top of the leaderboard, culminating with his first PGA Tour victory with a total score of 13 under par. So, Fred, there was some final round drama, some tension and unexpected turns. So, how about this win? What would you say?
Yeah, it was a complete surprise to see Knapp shoot that 59. If you remember, I texted you on Thursday after he was done. Is he going to shoot 40 under for the week or what? Well, like most guys do, when you shoot a low round like that, you come back to earth the next day and it all averages out. Still two pretty good rounds. But that 59, and I got to tell you, Carlos, I played PGA National and I played it. The time I played it, it was by 5, 6 years ago now, but it was like about 8 days before the tournament was going to be held, which was the Honda Classic back then. And it was the hardest rough I've ever played. And the rough was about 3 inches deep, 2.5 to 3 inches deep, but very thick, very gnarly. I mean, if you hit it in the rough, I mean, it was hard just to hit a wedge out of the rough. I don't know how those guys play out of that kind of rough. And they were going to let it grow another inch yet. They were going to get it up to like 4 inches for the tournament. I don't know. Now they overseeded ryegrass in the fairways and they scalped the roughs down, reseeded the rough. So the rough was really a non-issue this week. That's why the low scores, because the golf course is really pretty tight, especially when they let the rough grow up. There's not a lot of room to hit it out there. And so it's a very difficult golf course. The greens are big and there's enough undulation to make them difficult. But I got to tell you, I mean, it was one of the more difficult golf courses I've ever played in my life. It was really, really challenging. And for them to shoot these kind of scores, something had to change. And it was this rough that was non-existent and the ryegrass, and they got some rain, so they were a little softer, so the ball wasn't rolling out, so they could control it on the ground a little bit. So those were the issues that really helped. But still, 64 on the weekend for a Highsmith, that's pretty good. Well, but Carlos, who in the world is Joe Highsmith? Besides the guy, he's a left-hander, wears a weird bucket hat, the great big floppy thing. Where did he come from? What should we expect from him in the future? Well, he played collegiately at Pepperdine. There's been some pretty good guys come out of Pepperdine. That Sahith Theegala, he's a Pepperdine guy. So there's some pretty good guys come out of there. Um, Last year was his first full year on the PGA Tour. He played in 26 events, made 13 cuts, recorded 3 top 10s, which was good enough that he finished 110 on the FedEx Cup standings, and so he kept his card for this year. In 6 starts this year, he has missed 3 cuts, again, 50%. But this win secures his card for 2 years, gives him a chance to get more familiar with tour stops and courses. Plus, I think he gets in that little thing that has that green jacket. So that's a good deal. He shot the lowest 72-hole score since the tournament moved to PGA National, which has also held 2 PGA championships there and a Ryder Cup. So Jordan Spieth said, I get the overseed was there and the wind was down, but it's a stressful golf course. And this was some of the best golf I've seen played relative to what I could have thought would have happened on a golf course in quite a while. It's crazy good golf out there. And so, the bear trap, which is 15, 16, and 17, the par three, the par four over water, the second shot, and then 16 or 17, the par three, pretty much all carry over water with a bunker behind. So if you go too long, you got to chip back down the hill, and you can chip it in the water from that back bunker. So it's really a difficult golf course. Those 3 holes, and they were playing unbelievably under par. I think 17 was still playing over par a little bit, but normally it's like 150 over or something for the week, and it was only like 20 over for the week. 15 and 16 were under par, which like never happens. Okay. So it was the course is set up a little easier because of the change in grass and the makeup of the course. But Joe Highsmith put together tremendous 2 rounds on it. Just had to make a putt on Friday night just to make the cut on the number, then shoot 64, 64 on the weekend. He found something and it worked, Carlos.
It did. I mean, this outcome can be viewed from two perspectives, right? On one hand, you see Knapp's early dominance and historic 59 that position him as a front runner. But however, that critical error on the 11th hole during the final round was a pivotal moment that cost him the lead. Now, was it the nerves? Was it that really he just misjudged the shot? Well, that's up to him to know, right? But on the other hand, then we see Highsmith's relentless pursuit because that's what it is. I mean, he didn't give up and he made the cut and he went for it. Uh, he had exceptional weekend rounds, exemplifying what you can say seizing the opportunity and capitalizing on opponents' mistakes. So, well,
He
Naps
tried to
missed.
he tried to hit it. He hit it short and it went in the water. And he tried
Yeah.
to hit it out of the water. It took 2 shots to get it out. In hindsight, take your drop, take your medicine, take your bogey. He still would have been in pretty good shape, but he's trying to win. I get it. He thought he could get it out of there. It's a difficult shot. You don't practice that a lot. You don't get that shot a lot, and so it just didn't work for him.
Well, you're having the hot hand. I mean, you had a great round. You're feeling like you're on cloud 9 and you can win here and you can make everything. You say, okay, I misjudged it. Let me just do this and I'll get it up and running. And he didn't. It was a really tough misjudge for him. But had to give my hat off to Highsmith. His outstanding performance ultimately secure his victory. I want to give a shout out to 2 players. I think there's 2 players that I want to mention Shane Lowry. He secured a tie for 11th. Of course, it wasn't a big one, but his consistent performance throughout the tournament. He's having a quietly impressive season earnings. I mean, he's one player that I think is slowly but surely. You got to keep an eye on Shane because he's playing very consistent, very consistent. And your boy Ricky Fowler. I mean, did he face some challenges? So many hecklers, but gotta hand it to him. He remained focused, finished tied for 6th. So that I saw him there demonstrating his resilient experience and some growth for him. So, uh, how about you, Fred? Any final
No,
words
just the
on this
fact
one?
that Ricky is playing much, much better over the last year. I think he put more time in practice. About a year and a half ago, he started ramping up. He knew, I mean, that's when he was hitting bottom, right? I mean, he was almost off the tour completely. And so he put more time in practice, and it's showing now. He's back getting top tens again. Remember, it wasn't that long ago that Ricky Fowler was, runner up in all four majors. Remember that?
Yep.
He has the runner-up Grand Slam. But which is that's fantastic in itself. Yeah, I mean, you want to win those things, but four runner-ups. Oh my goodness, in 1 year, that was fantastic. Hey, Carlos, one more thing though, before we get away from the cognizant, Florida State junior Luke Clanton made the cut, finished T18, secured his PGA Tour card through the PGA Tour University program. That's a great program. College kids can earn points through their performances in amateur and collegiate events and PGA Tour events to earn a card, and that's exactly what he's done. He won the Florida High School State Championship 3 times, 2019, 21, and 22. He's also won several prestigious amateur events, the North and South Amateur, which is one of the biggest amateur events in the country. In the fall of 22, he rose to number 1 in the World Amateur Golf Ranking, and he's just now he's not going to turn pro until after the NCAA tournament in May. But remember his name, Carlos. He is a future star on the PGA Tour.
Oh, he definitely is. I mean, he had some collegiate success. He holds the record for the lowest single season scoring average in Florida State history, 69.33. That was in 23-24. Has multiple tournament victories, including the Seminole Intercollegiate and Valsport Collegiate. And as an amateur, he was awarded in 2024, last year, the Mark McCormack Medal as the world's leading amateur golfer. That reflects his consistent high level performance. And in professional events, as an amateur, he achieved notable finishes, including the tie for 10th at the Rocket Mortgage Classic and a runner up position at the John Deere Classic. So, Fred, given these accomplishments, I think that he's undoubtedly a golfer to watch as he transitions to the professional ranks. His proven ability to compete at higher levels suggests a bright future on the PGA Tour. So, definitely
The
will be
only
watching for him.
the only critique I have, I've watched him play several times in different events on TV. He's pretty aggressive, and that kind of gets you in trouble once in a while on the PGA Tour. You might have to learn to dial it back just a little bit and not be quite as aggressive. But he's going to be a good one, I think.
He'll learn. He's young. He's learning. So, hey, give us your weekly recap of the TGL status.
Well, as you know, I've been watching the TGL pretty close, Carlos. The viewership numbers have been going down, but they're still, better than or as good as the other stuff that's on. I mean, they were down like around 250 to 300,000 at the last week. So they're not getting big numbers. The big news is that the playoff spots are all set, and neither Tiger's team nor Rory's team are in the playoffs. So these are two guys that started this thing along with Mike McCarley, their buddy from Golf Channel, and they're not even in the final. So that's going to be a blow for the television numbers right there if you don't have Tiger in there. The number 1 seed will be the Los Angeles Golf Club. They clinched the number 1. Number 2 will be the Bay, unless Atlanta Drive wins tonight with 10 or more holes versus Jupiter. That's actually being contested tonight as we're speaking. And then the Boston Common Monday night. That's Rory's team. They got beat. And the New York club secured that 4th spot. Atlanta has the 3rd spot. Just to give you an idea, Carlos, the playoffs are going to begin on March 17th at 7 p.m., which are single elimination. So there's going to be 2 matches that night. You will have LA against New York, and you'll have the Bay against Atlanta. That's single elimination. So then the 2 winners will go to the championship matches, and those are going to be held March 24th and 25th. And that's a triple elimination. So they're going to have the first match on the 24th, the second match on the 25th, and then if they need a 3rd match to decide it, that will also be afterwards on the 25th. So, yeah, Tiger's on TV tonight. It's too late for people to know that, but he's playing tonight. Again, it doesn't matter. It's all over. the just a note about the numbers, which everybody's really watching. As of course, the sponsors are ponying up big bucks or care about this. TGL's audience, it's the new women's 3-on-3 league started out with 179,000 viewers. Then Live was on CW. They were only averaging about 185, and they're not doing that much better on Fox, maybe 200, 250,000. So TGL is a par with what the UFL did in 2024, their first season, and they averaged 816,000 viewers for the regular season. So they're they've had shows that were up around 100,000 or a million. I think they got a million when Tiger played in that second week. But Carlos, they're really excited about the fact that they're excelling among younger viewers. The median age is 51.6 years old, and that's only behind the NBA in terms of young audience. And it's 42% of their audience is younger than 51, which it's hard to get that. Uh, Three things that I want to mention real quick. Social media is trending positively for TGL with 73% responding positively to the new league. Again, that comes into the young people, right? You got younger people, they go to social media to let people know what they think. So they're positive on TGL. Um, they had 1.25 million social media engagements, which doubles golf's overall average for, because old guys watch regular, like you and me watch regular golf. But then Ludwig Aberg has seen a 1,229% increase in his social media followers when comparing January 25 to January 24. Now, note of caution with that. Alberg also won the Genesis at Torrey Pines, which certainly affected his social media increase. It's hard to attribute his popularity spike strictly to his appearance in TGL, but they're kind of taking credit for some of that. So TGL is progressing, Carlos. It's kind of fun to watch. If you haven't, urge our listeners, if they haven't watched, to try and watch some of these playoffs on the 17th and again on the 24th, 24th and 25th. So it's pretty interesting stuff to watch. It's a little different if you haven't watched it yet.
So there you have it. The playoffs are set, and Tiger and Rory are not part of it. So we'll see who eventually wins. And as usual, we'll have those updates weekly here. And weekly, this week, we have the 2025 Arnold Palmer Invitational that is going to be played at the prestigious Bay Hill Club and Lodge in Orlando, Florida. As one of the PGA Tour's signature events, it boasts a limited field of 72 elite golfers competing for a substantial $20 million purse with a $4 million awarded to the winner. So we can see some star-studded pairings there, the tournament fishers, exciting groupings, notably the pairings of Irish golfers Shane Lowry and Rory McIlroy for the opening rounds. Both have demonstrated strong form recently. Rory won the Pebble Beach Pro-Am and Lowry securing top 15 finish at the Cognizant. We have the defending champions pursuit. That would be Scotty Scheffler. He returns to defend his title, aiming for his third Arnold Palmer Invitational victory in 4 years. So, is he playing well there? No, amazing. Having previously won in 2024 and 2022. Fred, I would say that definitely Scotty as the number one player in the world and defending champion. He's the tournament favorite, showcasing exceptional form, strong track record here. He's one of the players to watch. Rory McIlroy, he won in 2018, has consistently performed well here. So he's another one to watch. And definitely I'm going to be watching out for Ludwig Aberg. He's fresh off his victory at the Genesis Invitational. He's rapidly ascending in the golfing world, and his resilient and recent form, I think, make him a formidable presence in this year's field. And throughout the year, this is one that I'm going to be watching.
Yeah, I think you're right. So this is a signature event, so we got all the good guys here, right? For finally getting a couple of good tournaments here. We got the API this week, we got the players next week, so we got some really good stuff coming. And these two events really give us a chance, especially the API this week, gives us a good chance to see where these guys' games are at. We've seen them play sporadically out on the West Coast. maybe a little bit of Pebble. We have the Genesis and those the Farmers out there. Those are always big events. So we've seen these guys play a little bit. Scotty has been hampered. His season started late because he had the hand injury over Christmas, so he didn't play early on. He's only played in 3 events so far this year. He has made all 3 cuts, and he has 2 top 10s. So you can see him kind of rounding into form. And this is a course that he's had uh, great success at in the past. As you mentioned, he's won twice here. I would not bet against him this week, except for the fact there's another guy in the field by the name of Rory McIlroy. And Rory, the last time we saw him, is playing at a very high level. He won at Pebble Beach this year. He's playing really good. His wedge game is much improved. I really like where Rory's at right now. And I think I told you then that I really expect Rory to win maybe a 1 major or 2 majors this year. And I really think he may get his Masters if he doesn't put too much pressure on himself again. This could be the year for him. But he's got that guy by the name of Scotty Scheffler ahead of him, and he's got to beat. So I think those 2 guys. I think we'll see them in contention come the weekend. Xander Schauffele's coming off injury, so we don't know what we haven't seen him much lately. Spieth and Ricky did not get invitations. They're not even in the field, which is really surprising. Spieth is coming off an injury. He's been playing pretty good this year. Ricky's been playing pretty good. Kind of surprised they're not in the field. It's starting to get where these fields are smaller because these signature events guaranteed, and we're starting to get some of these guys that maybe should be in there that aren't because it's just a numbers game and they just get pushed out. So I also, as you know, I mean, I like Colin Morikawa every week, but it's hard also to root against Ludwig. I'm with you on that. I can't disagree with you on that. But for some reason, every once in a while, I get these things pop up in my head, and I like Cam Young this week. Cam's been playing a little bit better. This should be a good course for him, and it's time for him to win a big event. And this could be the start of stuff for him. I think he's too hard on himself. He gets too emotional. If he can play calmly and accept, I mean, you're going to hit some balls in the water at API at Bay Hill. I mean, there's water everywhere on that golf course. So, and if it's windy, it's a tough place to play. But with his length and his iron and his wedge play, this should be a really good course for him, Carlos.
So for those who are playing fantasy, you got already some names that we have given you. I'm going to give you 3 more to play today this week. So I already mentioned one, Shane Lowry. I mean, that 3rd place finish at last year's API has been consistent. He's really on the cusp of surpassing his career best world ranking. So, and his familiarity with Bay Hill could translate into a breakthrough victory. So keep him on your fantasy rosters. Will Zalatoris. He has secured top 10 finishes in his previous appearances here, including a tie for 4th last year. So he has strong course history positions. So him could be a potential surprise contender or at least a top 10 finisher. And finally, Michael Kim. He's demonstrating strong form with that 2nd place finish at the Phoenix Open, solid performances at the recent tournament. So he presents an intriguing long shot with the potential to make a significant impact. Fred, any final words before we close?
No, I just wouldn't it be cool if we had Rory or Scotty winning this week and then the other one winning next week? We get them back to back. Wouldn't that be something leading into the Masters? You know, I'm starting to get excited about golf finally. I've not been too excited up to now, but some of these bigger events are coming up. The bigger names are going to be playing against each other. This is what we want to see, Carlos.
Definitely. I mean, it's building up to the players and the masters. Oh my God. It's just getting right there where we want to be. So anyway, we thank you for joining us. If you haven't done so, subscribe so you can get updates and be aware of when we publish more videos. And if you like this one, smash that like button. Thank you for
Hey,
joining.
Carlos, before we
Yes.
get away, Michigan Golf Journal went out today. Ohio Golf Journal will be coming out on Friday, and Indiana will be coming out after the weekend. So watch for Ohio, Indiana, and Michigan Golf Journals, Carlos.
Thank you for joining us.